Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Backdoor Banter with Justin, Edwin, and myself, Lawrence. And we're back today to share some more like quote unquote wisdom or also bullshit that we that you, if you do trust us, it might be wisdom. If not, it might be some bullshit, and we might not even know what we're talking about. But I think we all have a good diverse background and knowledge and like some experiences to justify some of the stuff that we talk about. And it's last week we did talk a bit more about like traveling and self-improvement about that, and it was a bit more of a light-hearted one, but we thought for this episode we'd want to divert back into goal setting, and also what steps are needed to be taken to achieve a goal, and also talk about like the stuff that you don't want to do when it comes to achieving certain things. And what I mean by that, it's not like doing something against your will, right? Being forced to do something and being held hostage for it. I'm talking about the stuff that you don't need to do to achieve. The stuff that you don't want to do, but you need to do to achieve your goals.
Because if you want to get like a good physique, right? It's not going to be like fun all the time. You can't always do your bicep curls. You got to do your deadlifts, your squats, or if you're like trying to do really well in school, you gotta like do the things that like aren't super fun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think I'm gonna split it into two categories. First one would be the stuff that you find like monotonous and just overall boring and repetitive that you don't want to do or just don't find a good sort of stimulation when it comes to doing it, right? And also the second category would be the stuff that you're scared to do, right? You might be terrified of doing it, but you might need to do it to overcome a certain obstacle. So that's how I'd split it. Like, do you think that's a good way to define those goals? Do you think there's a third category or a fourth category?
No, I think that's a pretty good way. And just how we combat those and how we deal with them. Yeah.
So why don't you share with like some things that I think one thing that we've done recently then each like within the past month that we had to do that we didn't really feel like doing, but we knew that it was for our own good, or it could be something that you guys do in your day to day and you still dread, like maybe at work or outside of work, something that you do just because it helps with your self-improvement, but every time you do it or before you start doing it, you get like sort of weird butterflies like, oh, I don't really want to do this.
I'll start off. Definitely rehab, like stretching and stuff. I feel that's very, 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 Sebes, I would say. Like, I feel like with stretching, it's pretty boring. And then every time I do it, I'm just like, fuck, I don't really want to do this. But then if I don't do it, my joints will still feel pretty bad.
Yeah.
And every time I do it, like I feel good. I feel good about it, and I feel like that's what's helped me a lot. Just thinking about, not really thinking about the task itself, but thinking about how you're gonna feel after. And that just pretty much ties into like delayed gratification.
Yeah.
And just thinking about how you feel after, and just questioning like what you'll get out of this task, and why you should do it.
But I think we all know that stretching is good, right? But like I'm honestly guilty of not stretching enough, and I think I should stretch a lot more. But the times when I've stretched, right, like when we were at Bangtao and we attended those what do you call them, mobility classes and stuff, like it was a whole hour of just guided stretching, and I was honestly dreading it, and like it's just one of the most boring things to do. So like, given that you try to stretch every day, not in a class setting, what's your thought process before actually stretching? Because you're driving yourself to do it, and you're doing it like basically yourself. What's your thought process before that? And what sort of demons do you fight? Not demons, but what sort of battles do you fight in your head before stretching?
I would just because I stretch a lot. I stretch a few times during work, because we work remote, and I would just be like, I would like put it in my calendar and just be like, oh, this is stretching time. And what demons do I fight? I'm just like, oh, this is so boring, man. Like I was just thinking about it. And then I think about actually doing the task, which is probably not helpful, and just thinking about how boring it would be. I'm like, 20 minutes, especially because I follow like a structure. I follow a video, so I'll look at the length of the video and it'll be like 20 minutes. Fuck, It's
Yeah,
pretty long. It's pretty long. But then I just remind myself how I'll feel after.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. But once I get stuck into it, probably like 5 minutes into it, I'll just think, oh, it's not so bad.
I see.
Yeah.
I
It's like
see.
the same as, I would say it's pretty similar to washing the dishes. I think before
Oh yeah.
I would dread it. I would just like, oh, I don't really want to wash the dishes. But once I get stuck into it, me personally, I think washing dishes is pretty therapeutic
I see.
sometimes. But it's only therapeutic while I'm doing it. But before, I do dread it a lot.
Yeah. No, nice, man. So that's like a good, I guess, thing that like it's around health, right? Like you're to better your health mentally, physically, that you don't really want to do, but you know that you need to do.
Yeah.
And yeah, well, like given that you shared something about health, what I'll pick on you, Justin. Can you share something about your, I guess, personal, like work life, actually, work life that you need to do, that I guess you have to do, but you don't really want to do it.
Yeah, I think the biggest one for me has always been writing.
Yeah.
So if it's writing for like, school or writing for like research, that kind of stuff, I find like writing to be like the most like unbelievably like hard task. Just like being able to sit there and just force words out.
Yeah.
I think the kind of tactics that I kind of use to get myself to actually do it is like, number one, kind of break down the task. So writing, like if you just sit down with like a blank page and you try to like get after it, it's like really, really hard. But if you kind of split it into the research phase and like the actual writing phase, and then even like the editing phase, I found that is like even makes it a lot better.
Yeah.
So maybe like for one session, all I do is read, I collect notes, I'll like do all of this stuff, and then okay, that's it. And then the next session, I'll start kind of coming up with a structure for like my like essay or whatever, or like my research doc for work that I need to write up. And then I've got like a general thing that's like, it's not the cleanest, it's not the most well thought out, but it's there. And then I have like a final session to kind of clean it all up and like really make it nice and like tidy.
Yeah.
So I think that is one huge like unlock that was really big for me, was if I've got like a really tough, really difficult task, break it down and like be kinder to yourself. Like often it's not, if it's just too big of a task, you're just not going to want to do it.
Yeah. It's like breaking it down into small little steps, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I see. I think that's a good one as well. I think that like, yeah, for me as well, I like to like focus on that goal, and then I know that I need to do certain things to reach that goal. But then I find that I still don't break it up enough, and then like you can keep breaking things down, right? You can just like it doesn't get too small. I think you can still break it up. Like let's say if it's like I want to go, like let's say I want to lose 10 kilos in 3 months, right? And then you like, what are the steps taken? And you can break it down to like, I need to go to the gym like X amount of times a week. I need to eat X amount of calories per day. And then you can even like split that up even further, and like goes down to like what I'm gonna eat for lunch, breakfast, dinner. And then you can even split the lunch as well, like what's gonna go into that. And you can keep splitting it. It just keeps going down. And then if you need to, right, you can. Some people do, some people don't. But I think there's just depending on how far down you need to break it down, depending on your personal preferences, you can just keep breaking stuff down like into
100%.
smaller little tasks.
I feel like that ties into, remember the quote that I shared from Josh Saunders? If you walk from Bondi to Perth, and then if you just keep walking, you'll eventually get there, right?
Yeah.
And then just with small little steps.
Yeah.
Over and over.
Over and over.
Yeah.
To get the momentum rolling,
Get the momentum rolling,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it's like you were saying, where it's like you break it down to the level that you need. So if you're like super experienced with the gym, right, you don't need to break it down into like all of these like little things. You can just be like, today's my like pool day or whatever. But if you're like a beginner, you can like really break it down. Like, okay, make a to-do list.
Yeah.
This is something I've been guilty of, where it's like, all right, it's like put on my shoes, get my like stuff ready like the day beforehand, and then like just drive, and then like just having a little list of like small, very small, simple tasks. Is good to like get that momentum going initially.
Yeah, exactly. I think I've done that before as well. Like I've gotten really nitty gritty on like my calendar. I've just put in like tiny little blocks of like 2 minutes, 5 minutes, and all that. Like stuff like like yeah, go and brush your teeth and then meditating immediately afterwards and stuff, like just ticking off those little small wins just really like starts to get the ball rolling for whatever you're doing. Yeah.
Well, what about you, Lawrence? Do you have an example of like what's the thing that stands out the most as like a really like difficult task like in your life that you've like been able to like tackle because you've been a bit more like strategic about it?
Yeah, I think it would be a cold calling because I'm in
That's
sales.
scary.
Yeah. Like I don't think you'll ever get desensitized. Oh, you to a point you will, but you won't get fully numb to it. I don't think. If there are people that think otherwise, and there are better, like I guess, salespeople than me, you know, share me your tips and tricks, man. Like, how'd you get desensitized to it? Because I still get freaking nervous before I jump onto a call. And for me, like, yeah, there are days where I'm just like, I really don't want to I just really just don't want to talk to people, eh? But I think just having that consistent time every day to do those calls would help. To be honest, I don't stick to that time all the time just because schedules do change and all that. I'm not as strict. But one thing that I've done really is just to do your research, I think. Do your research on who you're going to cold call, because I think the hardest part of cold calling is you think you're not going to know what to say. But if you're prepared and you have certain things that you want to bring value to them, then you can just pick up the phone, and if you know you have something to share, it'll flow a lot easier. Yeah. One thing I also do, one thing that I also do, you know, to help me, I guess, pick up the phone, or because we use like a soft phone at work, so I don't really physically have to pick up a phone. All I got to do is just hit the contact's number in the outreach platform that we use, and it'll start dialing. I'll just press it, and I just like have 5 seconds or something to prepare mentally in my head, and I've just jumped straight into it.
Just throw yourself in the deep end.
Just throw myself in the deep end. Yeah,
right.
Because I like there sometimes comes to a point where I know that I have the information and knowledge to share value to them, but there's still that part of me that is hesitant to make that dial. So you just gotta press it and just jump straight into it, you know.
Just do it kind of thing.
Yeah.
I feel like I had a similar realization when I was trying to learn to do handstand.
Yeah.
I was like doing all of these like drills where I'm like walking up the wall backwards and then like learning like all of these tips and all of this planning. But at a certain point, you just got to kind of like yeet yourself like onto the wall and just kind of go for it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a pretty common theme with like hard things, eh?
Yeah.
Like you do all of this preparation and it does help and all of that.
Yeah.
But you got to just like take the leap at some point.
Exactly. So I think that's like, it's you can be selective on when you want to do that approach. I don't think it works all the time. Like there's like a lot of people, especially salespeople that I've met throughout my years, throughout different industries, they've told me that, just go straight into it and just start treating it like a normal conversation. But if you have no value to bring, then what's the point? And you're going to end up bombing, and you're going to feel more shit about yourself compared to if you had some knowledge and they were just a tough prospect to deal with. At least you tried and you came in with some points, opposed to just going in and just sharing nothing of value.
Yeah, because no one likes to be cold called, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't really treat it like a normal conversation, because you're not gonna say, because when you say hi, they'll be like, what do you want? You're not gonna have that in an everyday conversation. Like when you approach someone, they'll probably be more nice because you're in front of them, and they're not gonna say it to your face.
Yeah. Yes and no, I guess. Like I think some people
would.
I think a lot of people don't like being approached anyway.
Yeah.
In this current generation and time that we're in, a lot of people find it weird to be approached by people randomly. So I think everyone will have their guard up. But yeah, I guess so. Some people prefer like that. Some people do feel a bit more confident over the phone when they don't see you.
Like the keyboard warriors,
keyboard
right?
warriors,
Yeah, but it's like, because with in person, I feel like on the phone there's a way out. You can just hang up, and then they won't hurt you, you know. But like let's say if I was to approach someone right now, like that, usually like they probably wouldn't like swear at me or tell me to fuck off or anything.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I hope not.
I think I know what you're saying. It's like certain people like are like more rude online when like there's like no repercussions.
Yeah.
And then and they wouldn't do the same thing if you had like talked to them in person. But
Yeah.
there are definitely still people that would.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, yeah, I think that's a big one that I still deal with, most days. And yeah, like, but also I wanted to talk about what other, like some other tactics, right? Besides besides like your own mindset, right? And needing to talk yourself out of things and breaking it up in small tasks. I think I also want to touch on other tools that you can use to help you achieve like certain stuff and like do monotonous tasks, right? Because we're living in the world of Gen AI, and leveraging those tools that are available like can just save you so much time, number one, and also just helps you focus on the things that you find more fulfillment in doing, opposed to the monotonous tasks, right? So what I mean by that is like, yeah, using ChatGPT to just plan certain things, and just a lot of the admin tasks that you don't want to do, and also it can help you like do a bit of research for the scary shit that you also like are a bit scared about. So yeah, well, like, what are you guys' thoughts on that? Because Justin, you're a machine learning engineer, so this is your world.
Yeah. Oh man, I use like ChatGPT like every single day now.
Yeah.
Like I feel like one, it's like such a good like just someone to bounce the ideas off of. Like you've got like a task that you're not completely sure of. Maybe you're just writing an email, right? Something as simple as that. But you want to get the tone right. You want to get like all of the information in there. So oftentimes I'll do things like, have I missed anything? Or like, what kind of vibe has my writing? Like, what kind of vibe is it giving off? And then I'll check, okay, is this what I want to be giving off? And being able to just talk through it with someone else, even though it's like AI, is the difference between me sending out the email in like 5 minutes versus like spending 20 minutes and really like sitting there like thinking about it myself and trying to make sure every last detail is good.
Yeah, like the breaking shit into smaller like goals, right? Like breaking a big goal into tiny goals. Like ChatGPT can do that for you as well. Yeah. And you don't really have to. Oh, it sounds bad. Like you don't really have to think about it too much anymore. But
yeah, but it's like the tedious stuff that you don't want to think about anyway, right? Because like the real strategic, the stuff that relies on your expertise, you're still going to be making the final call.
Yeah.
But it's all the like smaller things that ChatGPT like kind of helps with.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What are your thoughts about Gen AI?
Yeah, no, ChatGPT like and AI, it's pretty good. I feel like if you don't leverage it, you'll just be left behind. Because I know a lot of people, like, let's say resume building, for example. Like some guy is gonna be like, nah, I want to create my own resume because it creates like more of a custom thing. But but I would say ChatGPT could probably create you a much better one.
Yeah.
But in the fraction of the amount of time. And like sometimes I guess personalization is pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good to have, but now that we live in a world of with Gen AI, we just leverage it.
Yeah,
like,
but you can personalize it. You can
yeah.
personalize it. You can like the first option would be have ChatGPT do the whole thing for you, and then you can edit it yourself. Or number two, you can just train it to like tell it to say certain things, and then it can like create it in a way that you would probably think to create it.
Yeah, I should probably go back to uni, hey, and then actually like ChatGPT everything.
Smash everything.
I'll just smash it. if they have an assignment, I would probably just smash it out in like 2 hours with ChatGPT. Personalize it.
Yeah.
Over it.
Well, speaking about uni, like that's one thing that you didn't really want to do, but you kind of wanted like to do at the same time. Like you were in a bit of a limbo period for it, but then you felt that it took a bit of like talking with like myself and also some of the people around you to realize that it wasn't for you, and then you've decided to drop out of uni and pursue a career in tech sales. Like was that something that you regret or don't regret?
I would say I don't regret it because I wasn't really doing much in uni anyways. Like I wasn't really getting good grades. I wasn't wasn't doing much. But would I ever go back? Possibly.
Yeah.
I would probably go back because I feel like I genuinely just probably didn't have the discipline for uni, and I wasn't like, I kept like leaving shit to the last minute, and which screwed me over in the long run. But with like ChatGPT and with a lot more discipline, more maturity, a lot more discipline, I feel like I would be able to get it done now.
Yeah.
Like,
that is a
easily.
like I don't want the viewers to think that you should use ChatGPT to do your essays and stuff, bro. Like, what if all these like doctors and stuff are graduating uni with using ChatGPT for all the essays, man? We're gonna be fucked. You're gonna go in for open heart surgery, and then this guy's like
So
using
wait,
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT's down.
Yeah, like yeah.
I feel like we're very much in the stage of like figuring out where in our society is it like appropriate.
Yeah.
We don't want it for everything, obviously, but it's such a powerful like unlock. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like I feel like what you were saying just then about like going back to uni, there's such a big difference between feeling like, oh, this is what I'm forced to do, or
Mm-hmm.
like I'm just going because I don't know what else to do, versus deciding to go back and like, oh, I want to do this. And
Yeah.
I think it relates to like the doing hard things part.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
like anything like impressive is gonna be like hard, and I think one of the biggest things for me was actually having a goal that like mattered to me like
Mhm.
emotionally, and when I have a goal like that, I'm able to push through like the discomfort or like the difficulty of these hard tasks.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if it's like a task that I don't care about and it's like been forced on me, then it's like almost impossible to do like the difficult stuff.
Yeah. Well, like I guess, how do you also figure out like what if it's something that you should be doing, right? Because you know that it may benefit you in the long term, or like maybe sometimes you feel like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this. Like how do you sort of differentiate like what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing?
I feel like you kind of know, right? You always have that gut feeling.
Yeah,
that you
yeah.
would just
But
know.
do you think your intuition, like you should always trust it?
I would say, yeah, nah. So maybe 70% of the times it's correct. Like sometimes, like when I'm doing chores, I'm just like, is this really like, I should be doing other things right now.
Yeah.
But then I'm just like finishing it off.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's a pretty hard one. I'll say that's a pretty tough one.
Yeah.
Tough one to
Any
crack.
initial thoughts on your end first for like this question, because it's pretty tough.
Yeah. Well, I think yeah, it is pretty tough, man. Because then sometimes, like us as humans, our brain just it's like sort of programmed to not try to feel too much discomfort.
Yeah.
And when you feel some discomfort, you're like, oh fuck, I don't want to do this, right? And it's getting more and more prevalent now. Like people are getting a bit more, in lack of better terms, people are becoming pussies, I guess.
Yeah.
And that's why you always see those like older people saying, "Oh, this generation's soft" and all that. It's because I think like with the day and age of infinite dopamine on your phone and access to all this shit, we're just less tolerant to pain, and because of that, our intuition will tell us to not do certain things. You'll feel discomfort, cold calling or approaching that girl or striving to interview for that new job. So I don't think your intuition would be the best judge. And I think you sometimes would need either a second opinion from someone else or just fight that intuition for a bit and just write down the facts. Yeah.
I think it also matters because I feel like it takes a lot of self-awareness, because I feel like certain like intuition things like you should listen to and certain ones don't. And the only thing so far that I've been able to figure out is if it's like kind of a fear-based intuition, then you probably shouldn't like listen to it too much. But if it's like a passion or very like love is like another word, a love-based like intuition, then I think you can trust those a bit more. But
what do you mean by love-based?
If it's just like, oh, you know what, I want to do this because it's like a very like a giving act kind of thing, or like, you know what, like it's not responsible for me to spend like $150 on a gift for like my like I don't know, sister or something.
Yeah.
But it just feels like this feels right.
Uh-huh.
Then I think that's something to trust.
I see.
But if it's like, oh, I don't want to sign up for this like, I don't know, this like my like PhD or whatever or master's degree, because secretly I don't want to fail, or like secretly I'm afraid of like whatever, then that one you may not trust as much.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's like kind of different colors to like intuition, and some people are just like really in touch with their emotions like that.
Yeah.
I consider more like myself, I'm a more thinker. So I've like really had to like work on like being able to learn what intuitions are good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my rough take on it so far.
Yeah, rough take.
Do you feel like this ties into last episode when you guys trusted your intuition on not traveling, not taking that
Yeah,
study
yeah.
abroad?
Yeah. So like,
True.
that one's a bit harder, but sometimes when I'm traveling with like friends and stuff, it feels like this is an adventure. This is like a very much an excitement
Mm-hmm.
kind of intuition. I tend to trust that a lot.
Yeah.
But what about you know how you you said you didn't take the, was it Japan or something?
Yeah.
'Cause
You know what?
wanted
That might have
jujitsu?
been a fear-based intuition.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
So for the viewers, last episode, I was basically talking about how I had the opportunity to go on exchange to Japan, but I decided not to because I was because I had like a lot going on in like Australia that I was like pretty happy with. But you might be right, Edmund. It might have been like I was just like scared to like uproot myself.
Yeah.
I'll need to do some journaling to figure it out.
Yeah. I had this like similar thing as well, like not going to Korea for that study tour just because it was I was afraid that it was going to be too expensive, and yeah, I think it wasn't that logical to think that way. I mean, I could have used like a hex step or something like that to get a loan at the time, and yeah, I just don't think I could buy that time back, so I should have just gone, like, and it would have been a good experience. I would have learnt a lot, but yeah, I was just thinking too much about the coin. Yeah.
Because I actually get this like every, I would say a lot of weekends. A lot
Yep.
of people be like, "Hey, do you want to go out?"
Yeah.
I'm just like, "Nah, bro. I just want to stay at home and
Yeah.
just do this." I don't know if I should trust that intuition or if I should just go. Because
Yeah.
I used to actually, I remember when I was like 18,
Mhm.
when my friends would ask me to go out to like places that I've never been before.
Mm-hmm.
I would just be like, "Yeah, let's do it. I want to
Mhm.
like experience more and shit." But nowadays, I'm just like, you know what? I just want to chill at home, do
Yeah,
my own
yeah.
thing, maybe do some self-improvement stuff.
Yep.
And just work on myself. Like, what do you
Yeah.
guys reckon about that?
Yeah, like that's a good one, bro. Because then I think like that's something that a lot of people battle when it comes to like focusing on their goals. I think the obvious one would be like the fitness component. I know that when people first start going to the gym and start like watching all these Ziz videos and all that. Well, maybe this is not the best best example because there are videos of him like going out partying and that. But I'm talking about like maybe the Sam Sulek or something like that you're watching, and they're like, oh no, I can't come out to the pub with you boys, or I can't go out because I gotta focus on my gains. I gotta go to the gym and hit some legs. And yeah, how do you guys feel about that? Like, do you because then my intuition sometimes is like, oh yeah, I should probably not go out with the fellas and probably stay at home and behave myself. But yeah, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think for your case, it really could go either way. You're the only one that like really knows.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's like figuring out exactly why. Like
Yeah.
I feel like if you can write out the exact sentence and you're kind of like, okay, that's like that feels like exactly why I don't want to go out, then it'll kind of show you whether or not it's like if it aligns with like your like what you want out of life, right? So if it's genuinely you write out, oh, you know what, I'm like today, if I go out, it's gonna mess up the rest of my schedule. I'm really like focused on like improving like my grappling or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's my number one priority, and that feels good. Then I think that's good. But if it's like, I just want to like laze around, I just like don't want to do anything, then that might not be as good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
that makes sense.
In that situation, right? Like, if you've been in a situation where like, oh, I don't really want to go out because I want to just stay at home and watch some YouTube and shit. Like, how do you get yourself out of that? And like, have you guys been in those sort of situations? And like, what have you got? What have you done to get yourself out of it?
Like I would rather just like
Stay at home and
I'll
chill
have
and stuff.
periods where I just stay at home all day.
No, I'm talking about like, with the same topic about that intuition. Like what Justin said, he was like, if your intuition was to focus on a bigger overarching goal and you don't want to go out because it's going to benefit you for a certain thing. What about like if you're just staying at home because you just want to chill and just just lay around and stuff? Like what sort of goes through your head, and have you guys ever, I guess, pushed out of that? I guess like my question is.
I don't know. Me personally, well, what goes through my head first is that when I go out, I would just like assess it. Like, would this even be that fun?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I would go out, and a lot of the times it would like to be to a club.
Yeah.
I was just like, nah, because me personally, I don't really like clubbing that much.
Yeah.
I'm just like, do I really want to ruin tomorrow from drinking and into that
Yeah.
not even be that fun? But sometimes it could be really fun, but I wouldn't know because I didn't go out. I didn't give it a chance.
Yeah.
But wait, what was the second part of the question?
Like, would you sometimes you just rather like just like lay around at home and just like watch YouTube or something, right? Like, opposed to going out. Like, have you guys felt that? I think I worded it wrong. Like, have you guys felt that was better than going out?
Me personally,
Yeah.
yeah.
Really?
I would say like I would wake up the next morning and be like, yeah, I feel good. I have a whole day ahead of me.
Yeah.
I don't feel like shit from the alcohol.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, this is good. This is good. And then I would actually, there were moments where I stay home like, yeah, I prefer to stay here.
Really?
I would much rather be in my bed at 11 p.m.
Yeah.
Well, that's just me personally. But I wouldn't be able to speak for anyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's very personal. I think what I've realized about myself after like a long time is oftentimes like after work or something, I have the option of like going to like a dance class or like go out to like jujitsu or something, or I could stay home and watch like YouTube instead.
Yeah.
So the thing that I've realized is 99% of the time for me, maybe 90%, it's not the right idea to stay at home because I'm just gonna feel like shit. I'd rather just have done more with my day. You know, you have limited time on Earth. But like 1 in 10 times, it'll be a different feeling. It's like, oh, I'm genuinely like overwhelmed or like overworked. And okay, this is a good night to do a bit of self-care, make some tea, like just cook a mad dinner, and then really just relax and chill out. But that's like a specific feeling. And like the other feeling of just, Siebes, it's too cold, I don't want to go outside. I tried not to listen to that as much.
Yeah. It depends on what your goals are as well, eh? Like, if you want to, I guess, like make more friends or be a bit more social, work on your social life a bit more, go out a bit, and don't listen to that inner voice that just wants to stay home because it's too cold. But also, it depends on your goals. Like, if you do want to focus more on your fitness, or if you do need to focus on your side hustle, all that, like, just weigh it out and see which one's more important, eh?
You know what? I want to bring this topic up because I was so like with self-improvement, you know, some people get into a rabbit hole of self-improvement. They'll just stay at home all day when they're trying to like looks max and stuff, and just trying to start mewing and stay at home like, oh nah man, I'm not going out today. I gotta fucking do my self-improvement.
Yeah.
Because Hamza actually talks about this, and he was like, yeah, bro, like honestly, I feel like I've trapped a lot of young men into like this self-improvement rabbit hole. Like they're good, like they're jacked and stuff now, but they can't socialize, man. Like they're like so awkward. And I feel like it was like me, like I probably feel like you actually have to have a degen phase of going out socializing, so you know how to socialize with people. Like what do you guys feel about like the staying at home doing self-improvement all day, because like to just better themselves and not going out?
Yeah,
being like self-improvement hermit pretty much.
Yeah,
like,
that's a very good point. I feel like I've had stages where I'm like, my social skills have degraded because I'm like too focused on like myself. And I do think there is a day, like sometimes when you have got like a big goal or you're trying to make big changes, you just got to cut everything else out and like focus on one thing. But I feel like there's a danger of getting too comfortable, like just being by yourself. You're like, you give an excuse of like, I'm not going out because of like I want to focus on this or whatever. But it's actually, again, like a fear-based thing where it's like, no, the real reason why you don't want to go out is because you're scared of like talking to people or being like uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And knowing when it goes from like, you know what, I'm chasing this thing to I'm avoiding this other thing is kind of like the main thing. Yeah.
And it's funny, right? Because it's called self-improvement. Like, you're meant to be a better version of yourself than you were yesterday or 2 days ago. But you're actually regressing in your social skills and stuff because you're too focused on like improving yourself in other ways.
Yeah, it's a very appealing like idea where it's like, you know what, I'll just like completely focus on myself, and then I'll get like so like I don't know, I'll become so good that everything else will just fall into like my lap. You know, if I make enough money, if I get jacked enough,
Yeah.
you know, I'm just gonna, my social circle is just gonna explode to whatever.
Yeah.
And it's a delusion. Like, no matter how like rich or how whatever you get, if you
Mhm.
got shit social skills, people just not gonna like you.
Yeah, exactly. And I think I felt that like a lot more like as of just recently, and also I think it's just the nature of like our work as well. How like yes, we are in sales and we do talk to a lot of people, but there's no face to face interaction given that we're fully remote. And besides like ourselves, but we've known each other basically all our lives. So when it comes to speaking to people outside of the family or outside of our immediate circle, I sometimes do feel a bit flustered when there's too many people. And I also think to myself like, yeah, I'm working from home, making some decent change, and like, you know, I'm going to the gym, or I'm not going to the gym, but like, I'm going to exercise and all that stuff, and I'm becoming a better version of myself. But I think that socializing factor is one big thing that can't be replaced. Like, no matter how much you try to focus on self improvement at home, like meditating for hours, doing all this stuff, nothing's gonna replace that real human interaction that you'll get with other people. And basically, like that's the whole. That's what life is based around anyway. It's life is just one big fucking sale, man, and you just gotta be able to talk to everyone and socialize with people, and like, you know, be able to, I guess, influence people and all that stuff. So yeah.
So what advice would you like? How would you break down? Let's say, this guy, 18-year-old, was pretty awkward throughout high school.
Yeah.
Just found out about self-improvement. Wants to get into self-improvement, and
Mhm.
he's like, but then he's like not good at socializing. How would you guys break that down?
And there's like
And-
shit that he doesn't want to do.
Yeah,
Like
like he
he's,
doesn't
"Oh,
want
I
to
can't."
go out because he's like
Yeah.
he's shy.
Yeah.
And then
How?
how would you break it down? How
Well,
would you guys
Justin
break it
wanted to say something. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I was very much in that position where, like, you know, like high school, I was like pretty nerdy. I was like very big into anime. You know, I had friends and everything, but I really like kind of felt this sense where it was like, nah, this ain't it. Like, I can't like pigeonhole myself in this like specific role of like, it's easy. Like, you can fall into the, like, I'm a gamer. That's me. I'm only about like anime, or I don't go to parties. I don't go to like whatever. It's easy to stay in that character. But I very much made the effort to be like, kind of break out of that. Really, like, you know, not be like fake. Like, I still like, but I really like socialized at uni. I joined the anime society. You know, you don't have to just sit in your room. You follow what you like, but you like make friends that are into that as well. I tried new things. You know, I started going to like raves and like just trying out new things, and like going to just like trying out things at uni. And I feel like that was one of the most important growth things for me. And if I were to kind of talk to someone in that position, social skills is probably like the most important thing that will like help you like throughout your entire life, like in terms of making money, in terms of happiness, in terms of everything. Being able to like make new friends, being able to like have good conversations with your existing friends or family, you know, be a good listener, be able to share about yourself. Probably the most important skill like in your life. And this is coming from like a software engineer where I don't have to like talk to anyone. I make money through like coding. It's still like super important. So really value it is what I would say.
I guess like, what's that like? It's easier said than done, eh? Because like, what was your thought process when it came to like going out and talking to more people? Were you just going out and winging it, or were there certain things that you had to say, or like certain things that you had to say to yourself before actually doing that and getting that ball rolling?
I think just forcing myself to do it. Like,
Yeah.
I guess the thoughts in my head were things like, you know, it's going to be like uncomfortable. It's going to like you're trying out like something new. I think kind of the afterwards is the thoughts that you have afterwards is also important actually.
Yeah.
Which is like, if it doesn't go well, if you turn up to an event, you end up not talking to anyone at all. And then you just fucking go home and like not talk to anyone. You could be like, fuck, that was terrible, never going out again. That's not the right way to go. You got to have a bit of self-compassion. It's like, you know what, you like at least went out and like did something. You experienced that discomfort.
Exactly.
And next time you do that, it's going to be a little less like anxiety inducing. And
So
there's
you-
like a whole,
sorry.
there's a whole like kind of like world like that you can use to kind of like of tool sets that you can use. You know, like psychology, like there's like cognitive behavioral therapy, ACT, I forget what it stands for, but there's like a lot of frameworks that people have thought about to kind of get you like towards being a bit more social.
Yeah.
So there's resources out there. So I also did like a lot of reading, a lot of listening to podcasts, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think like everything that you're gonna do that for the first time, it's most of the time it's always gonna turn out pretty bad.
Yeah.
Like not pretty bad, but yeah, it's not gonna be what you pictured it to be. And like you said, that's fine, right? And it's as long as you keep sticking to it, and then making those incremental improvements over time, and just gotta like trust that process, eh?
Yeah. Would you say like break it down? So let's say you would, if you want to be more social,
Yep.
and just like literally you can attend the event, and you don't even have to socialize, at least as long as you attended. That's just step one.
That's a good step one.
It could be depending on like what level of comfort / discomfort you'll be at. Like if you find that, I think that's all no good idea. Like if you don't, if you find that going there and then like the thought of talking to someone is like even just one person is too much, and you have too much anxiety to do that. Yeah, like turning up and just getting out of the house, right? Would be the first step. And you never know, you might just think that that's all you're gonna do, but maybe someone will approach you and you start talking to someone, or you just feel that, or maybe you just overheard someone talk about something that you're very passionate about, and then you start joining in. So yeah,
because I feel like I was like that throughout high school as well.
yeah,
Like, I would hear people talk about, because I was pretty into anime as well. I would hear people talk about anime. I could easily chime in.
yeah,
I was just too scared, man. I was so scared. I was like so shy.
yeah.
I was just like, nah, I'm not talking about it. They don't have to know that.
Even when they make like a false claim or something like that.
Yeah,
like,
like, I could-
Actually,
I could easily just follow it in right now, but I'm just like, I can't do it.
you know what I still have trouble like with like nowadays is like self-disclosure. Like I'm a very good like conversation-wise. I can ask a lot of questions. I can kind of like comment, you know, keep the other person talking. But I have like a hard time usually with talking about myself because I don't know why, but I think it's just like it's not a habit that I've made. Well, you know, with like close friends, it's a lot easier. But when it's like I'm on a date or I'm like making new friends, I kind of like don't tell them anything about myself. I'm just like I just push all the attention onto them. So always like still like I feel like if you've been shy like throughout childhood, it's like pretty hard to like go all the way to the other end where you're like a super extrovert, you're always like super charismatic or whatever. But it's important.
Yeah, because it sounds like you're kind of like gloating as well, eh, when you're just talking about yourself. Like,
It does kind of feel like that. Yeah.
Because like I always heard the advice of, oh, everyone loves talking about themselves, you know?
Yeah.
Like, so you just get them talking about themselves and then you'll be good. But I feel like it's got
to be balanced.
Like, you gotta, reciprocity, you know?
Yeah.
You gotta give and take. Cause
Yeah.
like people like talking about themselves, but then they still wanna, I feel like they would still want to know about you as well.
I think so.
But then, it's just the way you navigate the conversation, right?
Yeah. Well, like, what's one thing that you guys have been putting off because you're a bit too either scared or it's just something monotonous that you don't want to do? That you're comfortable in sharing with the viewers, like.
Oh, you can go first, Justin.
Yeah. I feel like something that's always been like in my head, even like since like when I first like left high school, was like the idea of like cold approaching like a girl, just asking for their number kind of thing. It's always been there. It's always been like I haven't like gone anywhere close to touching it because I'm like that's too scary. Yeah, I think that's the biggest one that I could think of. Like even I've never come close. I was like, nah, fuck that.
Are you gonna plan to do it anytime soon?
No plans to.
Yeah.
It might magically happen at some point. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Have you guys done it before?
We're gonna have to break it down for you, man.
Yeah, you're gonna have to break it down.
You're gonna have to stare at a girl. You're gonna have to
sit at the food court
and just like
scope it out.
and just mentally cold approach her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think the biggest thing is like, I guess you have to like make an activity out of it, right? Because my idea was like, you know, I'll be like walking to work one day and then I just suddenly like have the courage to like, oh, that's a pretty girl.
Yeah.
Go over, like ask for a number. That hasn't worked in the 10 years since that idea popped in my head. So I feel like you've got to be a bit more systematic about it.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta break it down to like how your strut looks, you know.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know,
Walk in the
yeah,
mirror.
what cologne you put on
Yeah,
that day
yeah.
and all that. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah. What about you, Ed?
I wouldn't say I'm putting it off, but like I've always wanted to just be fucking super productive, you know. But then
Yeah.
I just keep getting distracted, and then like I can't find a way out of it. Like it's like every time I would go on, I would try to be productive, and then I would go on Instagram, and then I would like take me to a rabbit hole of like an hour, and then like I just feel like shit.
Yeah.
Because I get brain fog a lot, especially if I stare at only if I stare at my phone though.
Yeah.
A lot of dopamine goes in. I get a lot of brain fog.
Yeah.
And then that's just been something I'm trying to tackle. I wouldn't say I'm avoiding it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still trying to be productive, but I just keep getting distracted. I keep getting shut down.
Yeah. Like, what do you mean? Like you try to do something productive, but you end up on Instagram instead?
Yeah. Or like I would just like try to start my day off like nice, like productive, and like not go on my phone and shit. But it's just been a bit of a hurdle for me.
Yeah. I think like a lot of people can relate to that, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
when
especially like on a weekend, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get so much done tomorrow. And then first thing I do, pick up my phone, and I end up going on that for like
That's a wrap.
hours.
That's a wrap. Yeah.
And then I just throws my whole day off.
Yeah.
No, it's not like I don't give up, but like I can tell the rest of the day there's like I have a bit of brain fog, and I just not as focused as I want it to be.
Have you tried writing out what your day will like what you intend your day to look like?
I actually have, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I've mapped it out, and then I just fucking fail first thing in the morning.
Right, going on that phone, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that's tough, bro. That's tough.
Yeah, I gotta break that down.
How would you break it down? Like, how would we break it down? Like, let's say, how would you break it down, Justin?
I think the first thing that comes to mind is if you're repeatedly failing that day, it's like a failure of the planning. So it means you've planned too much. You need to like pull it back all the way until you actually can like execute, and then you can grow it back out at that point. But if you're like sitting there planning to do like 12 things, you get overwhelmed, like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
Then that's not it. Maybe you start with like two things. That's the whole day,
Yeah.
and you build up from there.
Yeah, that's a pretty good idea. Just because I feel like I started with too much. I'm like, I want to do this. I'm like, literally what we posted at the what you don't want to avoid, what you want to avoid the burnout. That's what I'm
Yeah. For those who don't know, like we check out our Instagram page at like Backdoor Banter. But we made a post recently regarding like something like this. Or I think by the time this episode comes out, it'll probably be like our first post, right? And it was basically talking about these superhuman schedules that these influencers have, and where you wake up at 5 a.m. and you go do a cold plunge and go on a run and do all that stuff, and there's just like a lot of things that it's pretty much like high effort that you plan out in the day, and we find that just overwhelms people. Like maybe you've listened to enough David Goggins and Jocko Willing to get you started for like 3 days, but then after that your body subconsciously is just fucked, and then your brain's just like subconsciously telling you, no bro, we can't do this. You just went from 0 to 100. So that's what we were talking about. That's what Edwin was talking about. And like having instead just have these smaller incremental steps, right? And then like maybe 5 minutes of meditation same time every day, maybe reading 10 pages or reading for 10 minutes a day, and start working out. If you've never worked out, work out once a week, and then slowly growing each of it. Meditate more, work out more, and read a bit more. Yeah,
I think another thing that like helps me do like difficult things is James Clear's book Atomic Habits. So one of his ideas that are pretty core is the idea of friction, right? It's a very simple principle. The things that you don't want to do, you introduce more friction to it, and the things you want to do, you reduce the friction. So if you're really focused on getting a six-pack, you increase friction by getting rid of all of the snacks in your house.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want a snack, you've got to drive over to like Woolies or like 7-Eleven and getting it. And naturally, you will do it less. And then you decrease friction for like working out, say, by getting a home gym or signing up to a gym really close to your house.
Yeah.
Or night before, preparing all of your gym stuff. So as soon as you wake up, all you need to do is like put it on and just go.
Exactly.
And I found that to be like a really good way to kind of help yourself in the moment, because the hardest part is executing.
Yeah.
So if you have time like beforehand to help your future self, that really helps.
Yeah. Or just like even having like a accountability buddy, right? Like getting a good mate of yours to go work out together, or just telling him like, hey bro, if I don't do this by this date, or like if I don't do this every day, you know, you get a slap me in the face or something, or like I owe you $50, and like or maybe like you guys just do it together, keep each other accountable, right? And that helps a lot. Yeah. But for me, like relating to that original question, like something that I've been wanting to do that I haven't really done or been putting it off. Well, one basic one would probably be going back to the gym, like consistently. But I just don't find that I I just don't find the drive to go back. Like even though I know I should, like it'll help me, like prevent me from getting injured when I go do Muay Thai and shit, and it'll make my kicks and punches stronger. But I just find that it's pretty, like, there's not enough, I guess, stimulation at the gym. But you've definitely helped me a little bit in going back in these recent weeks, like just having like we go together before work.
Yeah.
You know, bit of a accountability partner, and also like one of the new gym that we signed up for is opening next week. So
Yeah.
I think a change of environment as well to give me like something a bit more fascinating, because we've been going to the same gym for years and years, and sometimes I get a bit of like shiny object syndrome, and having a new environment, new gym will I hope will help me get back on track.
Yeah, I just hope it's not a double-edged sword, or not a double-edged sword, but like, because it is a bit further.
Yeah.
Hopefully that doesn't deter us from going, but I reckon it should be right.
Yeah.
Parking situation, but
Yeah, exactly. But I think also that's a really basic one. I think you know, you guys have shared some like a bit more personal ones, so I'd probably be doing you guys a disservice if I don't give something like that. So so something else that I keep wanting to do in the back of my head, but I just don't do, is like learning Mandarin. Like that's one thing that I find will help me like so much, given that fucking just everyone speaks Mandarin nowadays, and also it'll help with just personal life as well. Like parents are getting older, and they have a few like granny flats and stuff that with like tenants that only speak Mandarin, so and I can't say shit to them. And I think that's one thing that I've been putting off since like I went to China, bro. So that's like
4 years.
4 years, man. Like
5 years.
Yeah, like we did some Chinese school and stuff, but we can barely speak it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's just something that I keep saying, oh, I need to do this, man. Like, and every time after I like walk into some brand new Chinese restaurant and all the staff speak like 5% English, and then it's like, fuck, I really need to learn some Mandarin right now. So yeah, that's something that I really need to do, bro.
And do you have like a plan in place to like kind of like get started?
Like that's a problem. No, like well, yes and no. I would download apps and stuff, but
Yeah.
it's like it's a bit hard to learn from those apps. Like I just don't retain anything, and also it's boring because yes, like we don't speak any Mandarin, but the pinyin stuff, like I know how to write basic characters and like the basic principles of Mandarin and the structuring of sentences. So I like with those apps, I have to go through that beginner stage that I already know before progressing to the next level, and that's pretty like annoying, because then I sort of have a base already, and I want to just build on that base to expedite it. So I think one plan was to get a private tutor, but I think I just need to weigh out like the importance of it to justify spending some money, you know.
Yeah.
You could also go to the Chinese schools at the public school.
Oh,
You have like some small classmates, but gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, that's it, bro. That's it. Yeah.
But that's exactly where we went and we didn't learn. So
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to go back.
Exactly. Exactly, dude. Yeah. I don't know. But if you guys were to learn like a new language, I think maybe you tried learning Japanese in the past, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do feel like I've got a bit of experience. I know like what works for me at least.
Yeah.
Definitely like having like external commitments, because learning languages is like pretty damn hard.
Mm-hmm.
So like having an actual like class. So I learned at uni was that actually forced me to do learn my like kanji every week, and actually practice in front of other people. And if you don't practice, you just get like mad embarrassed in front of like 30 people.
Oh yeah.
So that's like a lot of motivation.
Yep.
So I think if I were to like seriously take up like language learning, like maybe Japanese again,
Mm-hmm.
I would probably try to sign up for some sort of class. Like I'm sure there's like open classes at like TAFE
Yeah.
or something like that. But costs money, takes a lot of effort.
Exactly. It does, man. But yeah, man. We'll see. We'll see.
We'll
Maybe.
check in. We'll see if you know Mandarin by this time next year.
Yeah. Exactly. We can be the accountability. We can do this whole accountability thing. So like, I guess.
Yeah.
If I'm any more productive,
Yeah.
Yeah.
cold approach to how
Oh.
many
Yeah. Yeah. I'll learn any
And
Mandarin.
if Lawrence has learnt Mandarin,
Yeah. Exactly. You know what? You guys want to do this? It's a bit of pressure on you, bro, because I think your one's the highest fucking friction. 'Cause-
yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Alright,
yeah,
bro.
let's do it.
We'll see. So we'll.
You know what? I think the Mandarin one. I've actually thought about that as well. Just knowing, because it doesn't. It's not something I think about a lot. So
Yeah.
that's why I didn't bring it up right away. But
Yeah.
you did remind me. Yeah, I do want to learn Mandarin as well.
Yeah.
And if I was to learn, then definitely it would be the blueprint.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna plug them right away. But
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a scam or not, bro.
Yeah, but
So-
I don't know. But like, I did grow up. I did watch them for a pretty large. It's the I won't mention it. But,
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how good it is.
Yeah. Well, we don't know, but yeah, it's just so useful, man. Like be able to know Mandarin,
But
especially for me.
it makes
as well.
sense though. It makes sense why that blueprint would be useful.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
it's tailored.
Yeah.
Justin probably doesn't know what the hell we're talking about. So
Yeah. I was just basically like yeah, we don't want to plug them, but you know, it's like just apparently there's this course that you can sign up for, and they teach you how to leverage your existing Cantonese.
maybe we should plug them. So maybe in the comments they're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, it actually does work. I've done it before." Should
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, all right, let's plug them
no one's
then, bro.
competing for our
Yeah,
ad
yeah,
space.
Yeah. Let's plug them, bro. Let's plug them. Yeah, it says the Canto Mando blueprint, right? And they're basically like, if you don't know who they are, they're a bunch of like Canadian Chinese YouTubers, and they teach you like I think two of them are not native, but like they're ABCs, I guess, like or like CBCs.
I thought they were all.
No, I think like one of them speaks Mandarin.
Oh right.
And then like two of them speak
yeah,
Cantonese.
yeah.
And then like the I guess the course facilitator Sheldon, he was learning Mandarin after he got rejected from a job after uni for not being able to speak Mandarin, and he was like this like his dream job or something like that, and he was trying to he was sent off to some rural part of town of the country to do like off-site work or something for another job that he got, and he had nothing to do, so he was just spending time like learning Mandarin, but the apps didn't resonate with him because it was basically teaching Mandarin to people who aren't Chinese, and he decided to create this Canto to Mando blueprint where he leverages his existing Cantonese skills or knowledge to knowledge, like current foundation of Cantonese, to be able to turn that into Mandarin, like using this method, like where you would just copy and paste like the Cantonese into Mandarin or something like that. So yeah, not sure if it works, man. So
I actually attended a free workshop of Sheldon, and it was pretty good. It was all right. Like he did give us some good tips, but it was just a funnel to sell me the Canton Mandarin.
It was a click funnel, bro.
I didn't end up biting. So.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. Like hopefully, maybe we can record some videos of you cold approaching or something, and some progress videos of me learning Mandarin, you know, and then Edmund being more productive and having, a bit more like progress in self-improvement, right?
Yeah.
Self-improvement. Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, like I think we've definitely touched on quite a bit when it comes to like, what do we touch on, like doing stuff that you need to do but you don't want to do and that you're scared about, and also I guess like how you can tell the difference between stuff that you should do and stuff that you are scared for a logical reason, right? And steps to approach it. So how would you guys summarize it? Like how would you guys summarize it for the people who I guess couldn't really listen to it properly and they just wanted like a summary of it towards the end?
Yeah, just how to. Yeah, so it's pretty much about how to reduce the amount of friction that you have towards doing a task that is very daunting. And yeah, just what we do to do it. You don't have to really follow exactly our advice, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we've also shared a lot of like personal stories as well, which I think is important because sometimes you kind of feel like, oh, everyone can just do these things like easily and
Yeah.
like, and then it's whatever. Like, but no, for everyone, every single person's life, there are gonna be things that are like really hard, and it's kind of like a bit of a journey to kind of overcome it and like be able to do it easily.
Mm-hmm.
So we're here. We've all got like struggles as well.
Yeah. And yeah, I guess like one big takeaway I have is having that accountability partner, and also like a big one that we talked about was like leveraging Gen AI and a lot of tools out there to get stuff done, because like there's just so many tools out there just to make your job easier and to make like doing these certain tasks like a lot easier, and just takes out a lot of the bulk for the monotonous tasks. Yeah, but I guess like, that pretty much like wraps up for like close to today's episode. And any final thoughts that you'd want to share with the viewers slash listeners?
No, not really.
Yeah.
I feel like
All
I've
good.
shared a decent amount.
Yeah, and I guess like I think for me, I want to share like if you are like for me, if you are struggling on doing something and there is a bit too much friction on it, just don't think about it and just approach it with a bit of research behind it, right? Like for me, let's just use the cold calling as an example, or cold approaching someone. Do a bit of research on what you want to say, and then just don't overthink it and just go approach that person and just call them. And sometimes just saying fuck it and winging it is with a bit of preparation is the best thing to do. So that's one key takeaway if that I want to leave the viewers with. So
Like the best time to do it is today, right?
yeah, exactly.
Usually.
Yeah,
90%
if you can be done to it today, do it today. Don't wait till tomorrow, right? And yeah, that pretty much wraps up today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and yeah, please, if you guys listening on Spotify, and you want to see our beautiful faces, you guys always can check out the YouTube channel at Backdoor Banter, and suss out our Instagram at Backdoor Bants, and a TikTok at Backdoor Banter as well. So yes, sir. That's it. My name's Lawrence. I got my co-hosts Edmund and Justin, and yeah, see you later.
So yeah.
So yeah.